boarded dogs here for years. The dog she had before these and now these. I mean, I've known Molly for a long time.
20 years at
Oh, it's
least.
been a long time. I mean, I'm very comfortable.
Yeah, that's right.
And we've always had good conversations. Molly's an intelligent person. I enjoy her. And I would talk about training. Molly thought she knew what training was. Finally, one day I challenged her to come to a class and see what we do. She had a dog that, how old is he?
He just turned 5 late last fall.
He's been boarded since he was a puppy, and he wouldn't come near me any of that time. He was totally antisocial.
Didn't go near anybody.
Didn't go anywhere. And she was kind of proud of that, because that was kind of his identity. So I said, you bring him, and one time he'll be different than he was.
It's true.
Yeah, it's true. So, tell us about it.
Well, Gunner's a rescue dog. I got him when he was somewhere between 3.5, 4 months old, probably closer to 4 months. He was one of those times when you go into a shelter and you look at the puppies and one sits in your lap and refuses to get out, and that kind of was it. And I remember the woman who ran the shelter, very nice lady, I can't recall her name, but she said, that one will protect you. That's a protecting dog. So basically, I live out in the country. Usually have a house full of dogs, down to 2 now, but Gunner came into a house with 3 other dogs, and he was you stay away from me, this is my house, this is my property, this is my mama, you stay away. And he wasn't necessarily aggressive when I took him out, but he was certainly antisocial. Fearful. Very fearful. And it was last summer when I was boarding the dogs, he just said, you know, if something ever happened to you, that dog would be unplaceable, because he doesn't know how to live out in the world. And it was true. Just like people need to learn to live out in the world no matter what goes on in their life. Gunner needed to do that too. So I came and watched a couple of classes, and I started bringing him. We had some quiet sessions with just mostly Gunner. And really after the end of the first one, he became much more approachable. And now I bring him at least once a week, if I can. And I don't know that Gunner will ever necessarily be.
Well, he's a serious dog.
Yeah, he's a very serious dog to be
but he's placeable.
He's approachable. Yeah, he's certainly his demeanor has changed 100%. He doesn't get upset or nervous when we're out with other dogs, and he's kind of clinging on me now. But he's never had his picture taken before. Yeah, he hasn't had his picture taken before, and he's a good dog, and you know, I would like to be able to take him out in public and, you know, have him certainly be approachable.
He is.
Yeah, he's really become.
There was a time that I couldn't have come up to him. Hi, Gunner. Oh.
Yeah, no way.
No.
And he was the only one of my dogs ever that was like that.
Yeah, but like the other dogs were kind of over the top happy about everything. Okay, this is more your personality.
Kind of serious.
Yeah.
Sillier types.
You know how, yeah, you laugh because.
Yes.
But you're a serious person. Molly's a neat gal because, first of all, she's an artist. Second of all, she has goals that are to affect other people. We look forward to working together with Molly because she's got some really great ideas for using the dogs. Gunner will not be the end-all of end-alls as far as having a service dog, but Gunner will be a wonderful dog to use as an example. And Gunner is very stable. He's just not the social butterfly. I don't blame him, I'm not either. We want quality, don't we, Gunner?
Yes.
So we look forward to Molly being much more involved in the program. And all she did was come to train the dog. I mean, it's really kind of fun, huh?
Kind of fun, yeah. Well, I was thinking earlier today about the old quote that they say, you know, when you're ready, the teacher will appear. Well, Pat's appeared for the last 20 years. I say, when you're ready, the teacher will become clear.
Oh, clear, okay.
Clear, I
We
like
got
the
that all
clear.
wrong all this
That's
time.
right, you know, the teacher's already here, they've appeared and they're here, but it wasn't clear to me until, a few months ago.
Yeah, but you had things in your life that caused some of that, didn't you?
Yes, it did.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, so everything kind of happens for a
Yes,
reason.
it does. Yes, it
And,
does. And we're very, very glad of that.
Yep, yes I am.
So I'm glad Molly's here because she got a chance to, first of all, hear some of the stories that went on.
Absolutely.
And you see what these dogs actually can do. She never knew they could do all these things.
You didn't? You're full of surprises, aren't you?
Yes, he is. All because of a hairy old dog.
That's right.
Okay.
Boy.
Very cool.
Got her. You're not a camera hound.
Well, Tracy and her husband Steve are just one more example of nobody's safe. They were here, what, how many years ago?
25 years
Oh
ago.
my gosh, I'm old. 25 years ago with a lab?
Yellow lab.
With a yellow lab, okay. And they came to class. I kind of remembered them, but, you know, that's been a long time ago. So they got a new dog here, and they came back. They knew where they were successful, and they did really good. So they came back with Eric when he was just a little baby. And from just starting out with the goal of training the dog, Tracy has become really enamored of all of the things that can be done with dogs. And so you want to talk about that a little bit? What is he, Fred, by the way?
Eric is a Greater Swiss Mountain Dog. He's almost 2, he'll be 2 in 3 weeks. He's 140 pounds. He's a big dog. Working with Pat, he's been coming since he was 12 weeks old,
Yeah.
so it's almost 2 years that he's been coming. And knew Pat from before, but you've changed your training a bit.
Yeah, we have the two color.
Right.
Yeah.
Changed the training from before, and as I came more and more, Steve, my husband Steve and I came more and more often, we found common people that were here week after week, night after night, and finally talking about developing a board to help with the financial matters to help fund service dogs. I heard the stories of all the people who have been coming here, Kathy and the other veterans that you've heard, and just had already fallen in love with Pat and the system, but further fell in love with all of them and wanted to become part of it and be able to help.
What's the name of that organization?
The name of that organization is Dog Opportunity Grants and Support. It's a not-for-profit, and they will provide funding for service dogs, to provide service dogs and their training. So, wonderful, wonderful organization. But as we continued to train, a couple of us thought that it would be just great for our dogs to see if we could help teach them to do the service dog training, not needing a service dog, but going through Pat's whole system and her
Well, we also
series of
decided
training.
that if you were going to be an expert on service dogs, you needed to understand what
Right.
it was. And so therefore, that's why we started to push the service dog, right?
Right. And Eric has gone through and is still going. However, at 140 pounds and almost as tall as I am at 5'2", he is a little too big and bulky himself to be an actual service dog, fit under a small table. So, well,
On a bus.
on a bus, certainly not under the seat on a plane, even in a van, pretty much. However, what I'm using Eric for at this point is as an ambassador for dogs and for the Safe Landings New Beginnings and the service dog training to educate the public and educate people on what the program is and how much help a service dog can be.
Well, make no mistake, he has been trained to be a service dog. He will pull a wheelchair, he will balance, so if you act like you're falling, Eric will balance you. Eric is very steady. You can get up out of a chair using Eric to steady you. If someone bothers someone, Eric will step in front of them or behind them to block. Eric has a lot of duties that he can do. And it was for Tracy's education, because Tracy got very interested in the service dog aspect of what we do. So he can learn the skills. He's just not a practical service dog. He's kind of like a horse.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of fun with Eric. He does not enjoy the fidgety little maneuvers. So Tracy often works other dogs, which is actually furthering her education as well. So Eric, if he had been taken in to be able to be a service dog, he would actually be ready to place as a balanced dog, as a companion dog, as, he's Tracy's pet. He's a wonderful pet. He's protective. He goes for walks. Tracy doesn't have to worry about walking down the street, right?
No, very protective.
So, what else? Your husband treats him like what?
My husband treats him like his
Golden
buddy.
retriever.
Yeah, treats him like like a golden retriever. We have taken Eric to the reading dog program,
That's
but Steve has played with his feet ever since he was a little dog, and with these great big feet that are as big as my fist, little kids love to touch his feet, and his game is to just, reach for that hand. So we're not going to do Eric with reading dog, even though he's good and he's absolutely appropriate.
We can't train Steve.
But we can't train Steve. So with Manners and Minutes, which was the other program that
Well,
we've
that's the
done.
beginning training.
And that is, helping the public understand what these dogs are capable of. And as a big dog, like Pat said, he did pull a child with a disability in a wheelchair.
Oh, yeah.
Had no question, had never done it, but had
He's
no
bred to do
question
that.
that
pulls
was
a card.
perfectly acceptable thing to do. And
So as an
did it well.
ambassador, Eric is phenomenal. As a real working service dog, he drools, he sheds, and he's big. Other than that, he's perfect.
Other than that.
He's a great dog, though. And this also says that to people who own big dogs, who end up pulling them down the street, this says to other people that even though you're not a big person, you can still have a trained dog, right, Trace?
There's no reason not to have a
That's
lovable
exactly
dog.
right.
Right.
Exactly.
And it's encouraging me to further my interest in helping Pat with the training of the service dogs that are here and need homes. So
Well, it's
a wonderful.
satisfying for
It is
everybody,
very-
not just
right.
Pat. And I want something that hangs on after Pat's not here. So you hang around younger people than that.
Well, thank you, Pat. You're the reason that Eric and I are here. So.
Well, it's a great team. I'll look up at the camera and smile. Eric,
I'll
smile.
call you.
Alrighty. Here we have Kathy. Now, Kathy called me up one day and she said, I have a dog that needs some training. The rest is history. Kathy had been to other training before. Okay, now you're going to talk about it, but none of it had actually made sense to Kathy. It had not worked for her. And I reassured her on the phone that if you don't do what the dog understands, the dog isn't going to learn. Kathy had enough faith in me and enough trust. I must have sounded good on the phone. And Kathy came. And she's a wonderful addition to our group. So you can tell a little bit about you, some history about the dog, and kind of where you're going.
Well, first off, I think I got Hamlet for a reason. I had hearing aided cochlear implant. Now, Hamlet ended up being my hearing dog to a certain extent. He sort of taught himself, basically, but he is helping me. And I'm home alone a lot because my husband's gone with his job. So Hamlet follows me around, checks on me during the day. He lets me know if anybody's at the door. He lets me know if my texts are coming in. So he makes me feel comfortable at home and happy. Not stressed or worried that I don't know what's going on. So that's his big job for me. When I came here, I'd already gone to 3 other places. I got Hamlet at 3 months of age, and Hamlet just, I don't want to use the word uncontrollable, but he was unmanageable for me. And so he made it difficult. It wasn't fun to have him then. He was uncontrollable or always acting up. And the other places I was at, they didn't know how to control Hamlet either. Hamlet would be jumping like a yo-yo, and they would just give him treats. And after a while, the treats were like nothing for him, no value. And that's when I really started searching to find a place where I could have a dog that was not bribed or rewarded only for training. I wanted the dog to do for me just because he loves me and he wants to. And I feel like I found it there in the past. I really feel appreciative in that respect. And granted, it's been work on my behalf, but it's always been joyful. It's never been stressful or something that felt bad or hard. It was fun. So I enjoyed it. And I think Hamlet's enjoyed it. With this horrendous weather we've been having, he's been missing it terribly.
How old was he when he came? Hamlet? 7.
He was like about 7 months.
Yeah. He was working on a young adult, and he really was a wild man. And we've had to work with a pinch collar on Hamlet simply because he really was a pretty rowdy kind of guy when he started. Hamlet's getting very, very good. He's learning to herd. He will learn to alert better for Kathy. Right now he's trying to teach himself to be a hearing dog, but we need to teach some fine points. And Hamlet's doing very, very well. He's not comfortable with everybody pointed at him here, with all the lights on him and things. He's worried about that. He's very protective of Kathy, which is one of the neatest things. But the nice thing is, we're working them off lead outside a lot. We've hit winter, so it's been difficult. But Kathy and Hamlet are doing so. You can work in the class now just like a regular dog. Yes. And you don't have to be vigilant, worried about what he's going to do to you.
No.
No.
I have a trust of him.
Yes, you do. And you also have a new circle of friends.
So I enjoy that tremendously.
Yep. And one of the neat things is, Kathy has a giant schnauzer at home that had the reputation of being very, very aggressive, and she's changed, hasn't she?
She's changed remarkably. She's been here now 2 or 3 times.
But she didn't even come for training, she just came for boarding.
Boarding, and she's calmed down and doing a lot better.
Nice. Oh, that's nice.
That was nice, Kathy, thank you. Very nice. You'll do it again sometime.
Do you want his vest on or off?
Now, one day, what, 2 years ago?
2.5.
2.5 years ago, I get this call on the phone from this desperate woman who is, I need some help. That was betrayal.
Yes.
And that was Jaeger.
That was Jaeger.
And she's going to tell you all about her little trip.
Well, we got Jaeger when he was 8 weeks old. Cute little puppy, loved everything, happy. He was a joy. He did everything, for the most part, that we wanted him to do. And as time went on, he got close to 4 months in age, which is at a point when the world changes for a puppy. And every day when Ryan would leave for work, this little angel of a puppy would turn into a monster. He would bark from the time Ryan walked out the door. He would bite me, he would jump on me, he was demanding, I couldn't do anything right. I would call Ryan every night in tears. I'd call him at work and say, I can't do this. I can't, this is crazy. He didn't know what I was talking about because he only saw this lovey, happy, nice puppy. But I couldn't do it. Talked to Pat and came up here. Jaeger did some basic training, got the basics down, and we started coming to classes. Now, Jaeger has become a success. His favorite thing to do in the world and his biggest reward is kisses. He has a iffy tummy, so initially we started training him with treats. Well,
That wasn't here, by the way.
that was not here. That was at another place, and because it would make him so sick, the training really was ineffective without the treat in my hand. So we came here, not treat-based, and we're able to actually have a dog listen to my commands and know what I was talking about without a treat in my hand. Now Jaeger does lots of things with me. He's learned to communicate with me and be my good friend. He goes to work with me and entertains the people that I work with because they're not necessarily big dog people, but for some reason now they are. Jaeger also chases geese for a park district here in town, and he loves that job. It's a lot of fun for him, a lot of fun for me, and it's good for our community. He also does a reading dog program up at the libraries and in schools. He loves children. He's very loving and likes to give lots of kisses, as you can see. That's enough. Good boy. That's enough. He watches the house for me. I'm home long hours, a lot of times by myself, and Jaeger will watch the house for me, let me know if something's going on that I should know about. He will watch everything. He notices anything slightly different, he's my guy. He's very relentless and very consistent and very persistent, but that trained me to learn a lot, that I have to be the leader. I can't expect him to lead me because he's going to lead me whatever direction he wants to lead, and that's not necessarily the direction I want to go. So now that I've learned to become the pack leader, it's giving me other skills. Not only am I telling my dog what to do and he's listening to me and respecting me, but I've learned that I can tell other people in my life my thoughts and opinions, and I can stand up for myself and have 2 feet to stand on, and learn that I can direct my life with my thoughts and my actions and my words to the people and relationships in my life besides just my dog. It's an important skill to have. If you're always the yes man, you get taken advantage of. Learning to stand up for yourself is very important, and learning to be the leader has really helped me as a person and me as a dog owner. So I really love everything that Jaeger does for me, and this is my learning dog. Before this I had no dog experience whatsoever. He is an ambassador and does do all the things a service dog does. He can go into a store, can go into a restaurant. He knows all those skills. He does act as an ambassador. People learn about service dogs and what service dogs can do for people. Before I came here, I wasn't aware of all the jobs that a dog could have. I thought they just laid on the couch and went outside and ran around and played ball. But there's so many things that a dog can do. It's absolutely amazing what a dog can do for a person, what a dog can do for a group. This group of people is all because of the dogs. We all got together, and that common thread has led us all to this fabulous family that we have here, and our family continues to grow as we seek out the world and spread what information we can with other people. I encourage anyone out there, if you're interested in learning more about what a service dog can do or what a dog can do, to contact us. We'd love to speak with you. We'd love to speak with your group. We've got all kinds of programs out there that can focus on all sorts of aspects that you never even probably really realized existed. There's cart pulling dogs, there's reading dogs, there's sporting dogs, there's service dogs. There's so many aspects of things that a dog can help a person, and a person can give that dog a task and a job and basically security, because they're respected and valued enough to know that they have a home with you. And I really appreciate my dog, and I really appreciate Quansa Kennels, and everyone here is just like family, and I love it. I love it. Yeah, I love it.
Okay, you said that your dog chases geese for the park district, and
Yes,
that's a good thing.
It is a good thing.
Why is that a good thing?
In our community, we have a large number of geese that have been fed by local residents. They've been fed bread and different things on our bike paths and in our parks. And there's a large percentage of our geese that live in this town that do not migrate. They are no longer the birds that nature intended. They've forgotten how to migrate because their habitat has changed by the people feeding them and giving them extra food, and they won't leave. They're supposed to leave, and when you're fed bread as a diet and you're a Canadian goose, you can get a very bad disease called angel wing. And basically it renders your wings useless. And a lot of these birds are not being able to fly. They physically cannot fly because of the angel wing in their feathers. We're trying to promote getting the geese to learn to go back to their migration patterns by the dog going in a controlled situation with a certain command, letting him know to chase the geese. When the geese are chased, they usually will fly off and move on. Now, geese are very relentless and they will come back. You can chase them off in 45 minutes, they will be in the exact same spot you chased them off. So they don't necessarily remember very quickly, but the more you interrupt their feeding pattern, where they're eating all our banks, all of our banks of our rivers are completely grassless. All of the erosion is washing all of the dirt into the river. It's really affecting flooding areas. It's affecting the land that supports the banks of the river. It also makes a very large mess. Geese like to leave lots of droppings everywhere they go. And it is a very large amount of droppings, and they're very yucky to step in, and they are also poisonous. A lot of species, including humans, can get diseases from the feces that is left behind by a goose. By chasing them away from our parks where our children play in the grass, and chasing them away from our bike paths where people do biking, and our hiking trails where they hike, we're getting the birds out of the area where the public is using, so it's a safer, cleaner environment for the people in town, and the birds are going back and learning their natural migratory patterns, which increases their good health and the longevity of the species in general.
It also stops them from nesting.
It does stop them from nesting because they don't have, when you're annoyed, you don't feel safe. You know, if somebody's coming up to you going, hey, you move every hour or 2 hours or whatever, you're like, oh, this is maybe not a safe spot to set up camp. I should move on. And so it's able to control and help get our population back under a manageable, regular situation.
Thank you very much. Very good information.
Oh, yeah. Back up.